Welcome to Jackal DIY and Tech. Today, we won't be doing anything with the PC. We'll be making some DIY with an LED strip. This one is blue. And I want to put this LED strip around this table. So I'll have some lights and make the scene look a bit nicer. So this is how the LED strip looks like. This is a 5-meter one. To power it, you will need a 12-volt power supply. This one is 12 volt at 2 amps. Now, since this is DIY, I'll be making the connections myself. Otherwise, you could just buy the whole kit. To make the connections, we'll use these guys. So we have a female and a male end. We'll need one of each. And we'll have to do some soldering. So this is the female end. This will go to the LED strip and the male end will go to the power adapter. We could connect this as is and this will light up at full, but I want to use a dimmer so I can also adjust how much this will light up. Now for the items that I have used this blue color. For a tech channel, I think I'll also use either this pink one or a red color, and you can also choose if this is waterproof or not. Then we have this dimmer, we have 2 in the pack, and finally we have these connectors. As for the soldering kit, I would use something like this as a beginner. You have an adjustable temperature for the soldering kit, you get a multimeter, you get the extra pair of hands that you need for easier soldering, you get some tips, you also get flux, pliers, and you get all of that in a handy bag. And now let's quickly do this installation. And we need a soldering iron. Since this is a simple DIY, you don't need anything fancy. The LED strip has a glue on the bottom, so you can simply glue it in place. You don't need anything else. And we also need some solder if you want to make the connections. On both of these connectors, we have a short and a long end. So we have the long contact, this one and this one. This will be minus, this will be black when it comes to the cabling. And the short ones, this one and this one, this will be the plus, which is the red when it comes to cables. Now this cable is a little bit iffy, so I'll simply cut it, just like that. So we have 2 nice looking cable ends. We can also tin these 2 cable ends, so we have an easier time soldering, like that. Like that. Don't heat it up too much, otherwise you'll have issues, as the solder just won't want to stick. So now let's see which one is which. This is the female, this will go to the LED strip, and this is the male, so this one will go here. And before you just solder this on, put the sleeve on, otherwise you'll have to take this out. And let's just see, I should have made this a little bit shorter, so what I'll do is I'll just make a knot. So I'll make a knot like this, and I should have made the knot after I put this on. In any case, it worked. This will now be long enough so that this can simply screw in. And now let's see which one will I do first. I think I'll do the positive, so the plus. So now I have the plus inside the hole. I'll simply solder this. Hold the soldering tip in place a little bit so that both the wire and the connection get hot. And I'll simply put the negative through the hole and repeat the process. So that's one done. On the LED, we'll put the female end. Take this out of this enclosure. Don't have it like so. Otherwise you'll have to do the whole steps again. Put this on. Let's see if I can. I don't think I'll be able to make a knot because the wire is a bit too thick, so I'll just solder this in place. I'll also first do the positive. This one is a bit different than this connector because it doesn't have a hole. I think that's it. Now, if you have a hot glue gun, you could also use some hot glue. Put the hot glue in between the connectors to make sure that it also holds. And now we have this done. Unplug this doohickey and let it cool down. So I'm plugging the adapter in, and now we should see some light. Blue light. I see now I made a big boo-boo. I have heated the connector too much. The center pole is now on the side. I'll see if I can fix it by using the knife and pushing it to the center. Now, if nothing else, I did manage to budget, and this should now make really solid connection. It's just going to go in really hard, as you can see. So I need to adjust it just a bit more to the center. That should do it. So now this is the maximum brightness. The maximum brightness at 12 volts. So now we can take this dimmer. It also has an off switch. So if you don't need the LEDs, you can simply use this. You don't have to unplug it. Why is there no light? Well, because the switch is on off. If I now turn this on, nothing will happen in the beginning, but once you increase the voltage, the LEDs will light up. At least they should. So I guess I have a bad connection. So what I can maybe do now, I'll just use another one, plug it in, so I know that it will be in the center, and then I'll solder this puppy on. And I'll also be able to hold this a little bit better. So now that should be it. So as I said, a pair of hands would be ideal for this soldering. I will have all of the links to the items I've used, except for the soldering iron. I'll provide you with the whole kit. Now connect this one inside here. Make sure that this is turned off. It is, it's all the way to the left. Plug this one in, and let's see if we can see the magic happen. So turn it on. Nothing should happen, and we have some light. It's very dim, and when we increase the voltage, it gets brighter. So this is nice because we can adjust the intensity, how much voltage we use. And we could maybe use another LED strip of a different color, make a Y splitter, maybe at this point, at the end, so we can adjust both of them. And now all that's left for me to do is put the LED strip around the table, and we'll see the final result.